Brands Hatch. The Sidecars are just getting underway on their warm-up laps. We'll get to those in a moment or two. Stuart Higgs, Series Director for BSB, has joined us here. Stuart, thanks for coming to talk to us very quickly. 2 questions, and then we'll let you go because it's a busy old day. One, give us your thoughts now the day's going so far. Various championships coming to a head very nicely for tomorrow. And 2, we'll talk about the extended TV deal in a moment. But firstly, how the day's gone so far?
No, really good. I mean, we always knew that the weather was going to be slightly iffy coming into this weekend, but it's added another level of drama. We saw an incredibly topsy-turvy qualifying practice for MCU British Superbikes, and then the BSB race, you know, 2 more laps, and could Alex have done it, and that would have put a whole new dimension on tomorrow's race. But it's finally poised. I mean, such tension in that race, and then the race we've just seen there, you know, lightning did strike twice. You know, the Martrain Yamaha was under observation for some smoke. Easton was going backwards, just a 5-point deficit. I mean, you know, I don't think anyone's going to sleep tonight. Just looking forward to tomorrow, and yeah, that's the way it should be.
We certainly are looking forward to tomorrow. Also looking forward to next year and the subsequent years, because next year we have a new TV deal in place with British Eurosport, bringing the BSB and the Point Championships to it. But also we're live on Saturday. Tell us about that.
No, this is a major development for the championship. I mean, since 2008, when we partnered with you guys, it was about a long-term plan, and the long-term plan is coming to fruition. And to be able to open up the more of the event to the viewers is something we want to do. I mean, just to take today's action and the prospect of doing that 12 times a year, it is critically much more value for the teams and their sponsors, and that's really important for the development of the championship. You know, we're going wider and wider with the broadcast now out to America now, Australia, New Zealand, Africa. You know, it's a good place to be, and you know, to be able to have such a long-term view that takes us to 2020, it's good stability. The rules are good in terms of Superbike and Supersport. We're in a good place, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I can't wait for it myself. Thanks very much for talking to us. We'll let you go. The race is about to get underway, so you've got a job to do. Thanks very much, Stuart.
Thank you, Tony.
There we go, Stuart Higgs, Series Director for BSB. He's also looking after this race that's about to get underway, so he has to make his way up to race control. Let's get on then with all the action from the Eastern Airways Sidecar Championship race and go back over to our commentators, the experts on all things 3 wheels. James Whittam sitting alongside Mr. Barry Nutley.
Thank you, Tony. Well, the final race in the 2013 calendar. Tim Reeves already crowned champion. Andy Peach and Ben Holland, that's where the battle is. 20 points separate those boys, so nothing in it. This is where the battle's going to be. It's all about tyres. Peach, I can tell you, is running an intermediate tyre. Ben Holland is on a full wet. It could be that plays into the hands of Ben Holland. We shall see. There he is, second. This is the grid lining up as per the results of the earlier race. So Ben Holland, Tim Reeves, front row. Then you got Andy Peach, Tony Brown, a sensational on a 2004 standard Yamaha. Didn't they do well? Sean Eggedy's got himself sorted out. He had tyre woes. James Whittam was spot on. He said it's a tyre. It's exactly what it was. And Roger Lovelock, Aki Alto completing row 3. So keep your eyes on the Finning Cat yellow and black Suzuki there. A big glare from the sun on the wet surface here, and Tim Reeves moving across in front of Andy Peach. Andy Peach getting the drop on Ben Holland, number 60. Those 3, though, do what they have to do. Already slotting into 4th place is Tony Brown, but Sean Hegarty with James Neal going round the outside. Oh, dear me, he did go a bit wide. And he's given up 4th place, and they come up towards Druids. Reeves leads on the inside, looking hard, Ben Holland. He's got to beat Andy Peach by a significant margin, a 20-point margin in this race. Double points, remember.
Exactly, yeah.
So, 282 Peach has, and this is where the battle is. Oh dear me, a lot of contact there. Goodness me. So Peach ahead, number 4 on the L&W Suzuki. Charlie Richardson in the sidecar. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, Finning Cat Suzuki in 3rd. Away out in front, Tim Reeves. Then Tony Brown. If this young man could get a podium, it would be nothing short of sensational in his first season in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship.
Brilliant 4th in race 1, actually. And he fought for it as well.
James,
it wasn't handed to him.
We've had some entertainment from the 3-wheelers this season.
We have.
It's been absolutely brilliant.
It's just as entertaining when you look around the paddock as well and go see them in their awnings and they're working on the bikes. They're all characters, let's say, most of them anyway.
Well, good news about Stuart Higgs talking about the Saturday coverage next year, because next season that means that the race we have on Saturday will very likely go live as well, so that is terrific.
Yeah.
OK then, back to the job in hand. 10 laps, and we're on the very first lap as we come down the back from Stirling Bend down towards Clearways, under the bridge, into Clearways now, into the stadium area for the first time, joining the old Indy circuit. Sean Hegarty and James Neave ahead of Lovelock. Then it's John Clark. Then it's Barry. Oh dear! Oh no!
That's Holland.
That is Ben Holland. That's
Is it Peach as well?
Is it Andy Peach?
I don't know.
Oh, goodness me. No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
It's Tony Brown.
It is.
It's 57, Tony Brown, Roger Body in
There's something on the track. There must be something on the track. There's clearways. There's now 4 outfits spun off, and that, to me, would suggest there's something on the track.
Goodness me. That's John Clark, Roger Body, Tony Brown, and Ben Holland out of it. And also, that's Mac McLaurin, the new BMC runner, who's in here. So you're quite right, there's got to be something there.
That's at Paddock Hill, so that's a completely separate incident. And unless somebody's dribbling a bit of fluid out, fuel or oil, and it's rounding 2 corners.
Dear me. Reeves then from Peach. So Andy Peach consolidating second place in the championship the way things are at the moment.
Well, that's like a proper gathering of sidecar racers there, isn't it? It looks like everybody's got away with that and is unhurt.
Can I say disgruntled gathering?
That's probably certain, I think.
Disgruntled gathering. It is. Safety car out then, so race control message telling us that the safety car will lead these guys round. Yeah,
that's mainly because I don't think that's because they've got to go and attend to anybody that's injured as such. I think that's just because they want to get the marshals out there in safety to look at what is on that track.
And indeed move the debris.
Well, that's Holland spinning out.
Yeah, 2 of them, they both lost it.
And that's
just
Brown.
Backwards, yep.
Yeah, and that's separate incidents as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
So the back ends went round. John Clark as well, in trouble with
well controlled, though.
Oh, well controlled. Well, dear me. So Tony Brown's race ending in tears. Roger Body, obviously. Now, the series promoter, Roger Body, getting on in years, let's be honest, he does not make mistakes.
No, I mean, if there's 4 riders all having the same separate incident at the same corner on the same lap, you can be fairly certain there's something on the surface.
Oh, Andy Peach with another massive weave. But Andy Peach is closing on Tim Reeves here. So, yeah, I don't know, is Tim Reeves getting the slowdown?
Well, I think they're going to be bunching up behind the safety car anyway. The flags are out to tell them that the safety car's out. So there's not a lot of point in pushing on when there might be something on the circuit when they're going to have to bunch up behind the safety car anyway, Barry.
Yeah,
It's just a matter of catching it.
Andy Peach is on an intermediate tyre as well. That, for a fact, I know because I saw them line up on the grid. So he's on an intermediate tyre, but we are still bunching up, as you quite rightly say, behind the safety car. And the flags will be waving, telling the crews that. There's the safety car flag as I speak.
There's the safety car.
And there's the safety car with its lights flashing.
Yep.
Well, drama indeed. Reeves then closing up behind the safety car. Now,
well, at least they're all neatly lined up now, look.
Would you like to buy one of them? Looks a bit like a showroom, doesn't it? Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
One's bellied out.
Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere, I'm afraid. John Clark's bike. Well, what a way to end the season. What drama. Marshall's, as always, doing good stuff. Poor Mark Edwards was another casualty further on round the corner. And Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett having their last ride this weekend as Edwards Racing. Next year, they'll be joining up in a 2-bike team with Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood riding under the Assured Office Solutions banner. Both crews on Kawasaki, and a lot of these crews, James, seem to be moving off Suzuki to Kawasaki for next year. It seems to be the favoured engine.
The Kawasaki, for sure, has got more power as a standard engine.
And we run stock, of course, 1000cc super stock spec.
Yeah, and do you know what? When you look at technically, it's not just as easy as taking an engine out of a stock 1000 road bike and slotting it into a sidecar. There's lots of things you need to alter. One of the things is when you consider that a solo is always leaning sort of in the corner, so the engine and oil system and fuel system is always in balance. It doesn't slosh to one side because it's always been pushed down. Where on a sidecar, the oil, the fuel always goes to one side, so you need to have baffles in the sump, and the injection system needs to be set up different. So it is quite a technical thing to get an engine from a solo into a sidecar. Absolutely.
And Michael Grabmuller, the Austrian who's riding in this race, he rides a Kawasaki. He's in 9th place, I noticed. He rides a Kawasaki with a wet sump, and so he's overcome exactly that problem. So he's on it, no doubt about it. I was looking at the marshals lifting poor John Clark's bike up. They're going to drag the fairing off that if they're not careful. That is only anchored on by 3 little pins.
Exactly, yeah. It's held on by little Zeus fasteners, and it
won't lift the bike.
It ain't going to lift. No. I'm suspecting the marshals won't know that.
No, they probably don't. They probably think, oh, it's a big round thing, I can lift it. But they do a great job, as always. Race safe marshals, of course. And now this has given Andy Peach and indeed Sean Hegarty and James Neve, the number 33 Q8 Oils Suzuki, in third place, and Lovelock on the Driver Wolf BMW, the opportunity to close up here on lap 4. So we're not yet at half race distance.
Well, the lights have gone out of the safety car barrier. That means it will come in this lap. They've got exactly this corner, another corner, and then it'll be into the pits, and they'll be back to racing. They're obviously the organisers are quite obviously happy that there's nothing left on the circuit that's going to cause further problems.
Nothing ongoing. No. Well, time will tell. we've got 5 bikes now, 5 outfits, all closed up together. So it's effectively, or very nearly, a 15-wheeler.
Now they can't pass each other until they get to the start and finish line.
Here we go then. Reeves, green flag situation, race back on. Andy Peach in second, then it's Hegarty. So Andy Peach now assured of second place. His great rival Ben Holland and Lee Watson out of the running. Let me look at my points. Can they lose third? No, they can't, unless Lovelock does
Peach and that man there, Hegarty, number 33, sliding about everywhere at Paddock Hill. I mean, we don't exactly know what tyres each outfit has on. There's quite a lot of difference, I would have thought. You know, some will have wets, some will have a mix of wets and intermediates. But certainly Peach and Hegarty in second and fourth not getting so much grip.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if, now it's drying out, if Andy Peach on intermediates is getting the drive, he could well get a better situation than Tim Reeves, who I think is on a full wet.
And I don't think Reeves is getting the grip he needs, you know.
It doesn't look like it. The back end was wagging, wasn't it? It looked as though it was wagging. Here we go. Waiting for, here we go, he's challenging Andy Peach. Now, what he's got to do here, of course, is be very careful. If he crashes out even, he has still got that 20-point advantage over Ben Holland, but he doesn't want to throw it away, and he doesn't want to go too much for glory. But to beat Tim Reeves here in the final round would be something special.
That'd be a feather in his cap, wouldn't it?
Not off. Yeah, big feather and big cap. Brilliant. And Roger Lovelock then past Hegarty up to third, so the Driver Wolf BMW recovering fast. Now, this could pose a problem. I can't quite do the sums because I'm desperately watching the screen, but Lovelock on 218 points, Holland on 262, double points. If Holland gets a whacking big score here, what am I talking about? If Lovelock gets a whacking big score, he could steal third.
I'm going to say Holland's going to struggle from the gravel trap, Barry, yes, to get anything of a score.
Well, you had the advantage of sitting here in a calm situation. My brain was going 150 miles an hour, just as these guys are at the front. As they come over the line, they're doing about 135, even in these conditions. And now down Paddock Hill Bend, up towards Druids. Andy Peach definitely in that second place podium position, looking good here.
Yeah, you can definitely see it's not a wet on the back of Peach's outfit there, the driving wheel. This is good.
On the outside, he's from the outside, he's done, he's alongside. He's
That's
alongside.
Not gonna work.
Oh, Tim Reeves pushing him almost onto the grass. No quarter arse, none given. On the inside now, chopping back. Andy Peach has got it up to 30s. Oh, dear me. This is close.
Well, they run each other off there, I've got to say. Neither of them wanted to not to give best there.
I'll tell you what, Peach is getting the drive. That intermediate is coming into its own. He is getting the drive now. Tim Reeves on a wet rear here.
And I think that's the difference, Barry.
Yeah, it is. It is. If Andy Peach can stay on that dry line, he's definitely got the bit between his teeth here. I'm trying to look at the back. You can't tell, can you?
It's difficult to tell when they're going around as quick as they are.
Not when it's spinning, because it's a triangulated tread anyway. It's a chevron tread, so it's impossible.
On the wet, yeah.
Oh, look how close.
This is going into Graham Hill. And I've got to be honest, Peach squeezed Reeves a little bit there, look.
He did,
expecting Reeves to shut off.
I saw the fairing move.
Yeah.
He should know Tim Reeves better than that. Tim Reeves knows the throttle only goes one way. And that's it, and pushes them wide, nearly on the grass. Away they go.
Did you see Reeves just turn around and ask his brother if he's all right there after that incident?
Let's go again. Head down. You're right, Tris. Let's go again. Over the line then. Andy Peach still. Charlie Richardson loves to race. He's a real racer, Andy Peach, his passenger. And again, it's seesawing. Going in. So it's definitely got no grip. When it goes light, look at it.
Yeah,
it's a handful around there.
It is. In certain parts of this track, Andy Peach, number 4 there, is getting no grip at all from the rear. And in other parts, he seems to be getting a lot more drive than the leader, Reeves.
The drive he's getting is on the left-handers. He's not getting the drive on the right hand. Oh, again, out of there, the back wagging away. That intermediate proving very, very difficult to ride when there's any moisture on the track, but once he gets on the dry, he can get the power on, and this is where he closes.
Yeah, this is where he's really quick. Getting drive out of Surtees here onto the long straight.
Absolutely. Now he's drifted onto the wet line again and lost it.
Work, yeah.
Very, very difficult conditions. Still up in third then, it's Lovelock and Alto still in third, and they're a second ahead of Hegarty. Young Barry James and Sam Christie in fifth. John Holden, Andy Winkle, former Isle TT winners, are there in sixth. And then Simon Gilbert, Ashley Moore seventh, Ian Drown, and the Austrian Grabmuller, Michael Grabmuller, up into ninth place and in the points. Good showing for him. Now he's finding his way round. 2/3 race distance completed. Well, entertaining. They absolutely are giving it their best shot. No race tomorrow, of course. This is it. This concludes the 2013 season for the F1 Sidecars.
At least a bit to get out of the paddock and miss the traffic.
Yeah. Well, I think there might be a bit of partying going on tonight, so they better keep the noise down. I think we've got a 12 o'clock curfew. No popping of champagne corks after midnight.
Well, these sidecars, it won't be champagne. That'll be cans of bitter, I'm thinking.
Barrels. Right, Hegarty in fourth. Hegarty and James Neve doing a great job again, so a good consistent. Oh, there's Hegarty gone past Lovelock. He's up to third. He's on the final podium position, just as I was talking about Hegarty. He and James Neve then have really gelled. And this pairing, as I said in the earlier race, is pretty much guaranteed for 2014. They work together well. They suit each other well. All Sean Hegarty's got to do is adjust. That's why. Lovelock took to the beach.
Keep it going.
And he did, but not soon enough. So everybody going off right, left and centre, but it's game on again for the BMW, which is very, very quick, trying to claw back, and this is the fastest part. It's about 155 miles an hour, and he's alongside on the inside, and he regains third place. So after that excursion in the gravel, Roger Lovelock, Aki Alto, back past Sean Hegarty and James Neve, up to third. So a good, strong finish to their 2013 campaign, the outgoing champion. I did 2 laps of this. You've been around it so many times, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I did 2 laps of this circuit on Thursday on my push bike. I couldn't believe how undulating and how cambered it is.
Having said that, you always feel it more on a push bike than you do with 200 odd horsepower.
Certainly going up.
But yeah, and that's what makes it quite interesting to ride. And I think that's why most of the riders love it. Certainly solo riders love the place.
It swoops. It absolutely swoops and
little bit of everything.
Lovely, lovely technical track. And Grabmuller, the Austrian, said to me, "It is so technical. We should have these on the World Championship all the time." Oh, he wasn't Welsh, by the way.
I was just going to say, is he Austrian?
there, Lovelock in third now, stretching away. So that BMW, he blew an engine in qualifying. And the spare engine, well, for a spare engine, it's not bad, is it? Hegarty went off up to the Avon truck to get his tyres sorted out. I wasn't sure of his tyre choice. That was definitely his problem in the first race. But what he has said, he's going to have to reset his suspension because James Neve is such a big guy compared to Callum Lawson, Johnny Briggs, he used or attempted to use in Assen.
Battle's still going on here.
It is. Simon Gilbert, and there's Grabmuller in the black outfit, the Austrian, number 97. Ian Drown and Ken Edwards right behind. Number 170. Grabmuller is past Simon Gilbert, so he's becoming inspired now. He's up to 7th.
There's no wrong, Austrian. There's no wrong with the speed of that thing.
No, very quick Kawasaki. Finished 6th in the world. So you're quite right. There is nothing wrong with the speed of that thing. And he's got an English passenger on. You know Phil Hyde. You all know Phil Hyde?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He jumped in, just a phone call away, and he's done the job. Brilliant. He's done his time, Phil Hyde, with the Ron Haslam Racing School, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
the instructor. John Holden there as well, and Ricky Stevens looking good. Craig Chaplow in 12th, but Grabmuller, as Tim Reeves starts his final lap, this puts him up to 16 wins from 20 races. He did not contest Donington because he was away in the Isle of Man, so take 2 out of it. And on the other 2 occasions, he was beaten once by Hegarty and once by Ben Birchall. The rest of the time, Tim Reeves, with Tristan in the chairs, had a clean sheet and a clean sweep of the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship, and has walked away with a not inconsiderable lump of money.
Yep.
Not bad at all, because these boys do get prize money.
Yeah, they do, but I don't think it's what it'll cost him. I mean, he runs a really smart setup with Reeves. It's every bit as good as the big solo teams. You know, everything's clean and new and well looked after.
Absolutely.
And presented lovely.
Well, not for nothing was he 2012 world champion.
No.
And that's how you win championships, by being that smart. But Andy Peach hasn't let go, has he?
He hasn't, and I think this is his tyres coming back into play again.
Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, they've clinched significantly now, impressively, emphatically. I'll use a string of superlatives. 2nd place in the championship, and they are following the champion home. Out of Stirling's onto the final lap under the bridge. These bridges are very low as well when you're going at 120 miles an hour. Into Clearways, out of Clark Curve. The checkered flag now in sight. At the end of 10 laps, in a very, very eventful 10 laps, 2 of which were led by the safety car. Tim and Tristan Reeves have done it again here. What can the others do to have an answer to this man? He just marches on and on and on. Let's have a look at the battle for 3rd, still very much alive. Roger Lovelock, Aki Alto, and Sean Hegarty, James Neve on the Q8 Oils Suzuki, claiming 4th, but final place on the podium goes to Lovelock and Aki Alto. They've got to be pleased with that. A strong finish to their 2013 campaign. And a massive gap. Looking for Barry. Look at this gaggle here.
That's Winkle and Holden and Winkle, sorry.
It is. It's John Holden with Grabmuller in the middle. Barry James coming through. So the Austrian getting duffed up here. And what did he get at the end of the day? He got 7th. He did get 7th. The battle between Barry James. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Holden got the better of Barry James. Grabmuller, and spinning off on the final lap, Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance again coming out of Clark Curve in the gravel, but they will at least get a finish. It's a question of who went past them and how far down.
Finished 12th, I think.
12th place, credited with 12th. So, a brilliant, brilliant result. Andy Peach fought well. It was exciting, I can tell you. Slip sliding around, but a good 2nd place for them. 2nd place confirmed in the standings. But no doubting our champion. What an impressive class act he is. 490 points, if my mathematics serve me well, will go to Tim Reeves, and we'll get confirmation of that, I've no doubt, at the end of this race, on the end of the slowdown lap. Brilliant, brilliant result. Let's relax here and have a drink of water. That was quite eventful. James, I want to thank you for helping me out over the season. You've been great company, you've been informative, you've been entertaining, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed these sidecars, I've got to say.
We're going to get you in one. I mean, on the handlebars. There we go then. Just having a quick gulp of water there. Reeves confirmed from Peach and Lovelock. That is the podium. Hegarty, well, it was a good scrap. Look at those Suzukis in there, the BMW splitting them up. John Holden, 5th. He'll be thrilled with that, ahead of Barry James, Michael Grabmuller, and Phil Hyde. So Grabmuller from Austria, he'll be impressed. Let's hope he comes back. Ricky Stevens and Charlwood, they were in the gravel in race 1. Now they're back here. And Ian Drown. Simon Gilbert, another strong finish for him. So he'll be collecting 6 points for 10th place. Rupert Archer, that's a good result with Shelley Smith, his lady passenger. Craig Chaplow, you saw it yourself, he emerged from the gravel to claim 12th. Edwards and Barrett, last race as Edwards Racing. We'll see him back next year in a 2-bike team. Brian Gray, Ian Guy and Ben Ransley collecting the final point. And all those people in the gravel, you saw them. McLaurin, Holland, Brown, and indeed Roger Body was also in the gravel. So I said I thought Tim Reeves would have something like 490 points, and I was smack on. Yeah, well, look at that. A massive, massive margin over Andy Peach. At the end of the day, Ben Holland settled for 3rd, but he was pushed close because only 12 points behind was lurking Roger Lovelock. Nearly stole it from him at the death. Hegarty from Edwards, James, Drown, Ricky Stevens. All these guys are going to be back next season and more, I can tell you. We've got some crews coming from Holland to mix the job up. Birchells, I'd like to see them more in the British Championship, but they have been concentrating on the Worlds. John Clark, one of our gravel exponents, he's there, finishes 12th, didn't do all the rounds, of course. And we only saw Jörg Steinhausen at one meeting, but he got 45 points.
We are here with our race winners, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Lots of jokes going on in Park Ferme. I'm not sure we can say everything on live TV that was just said. But let's talk about the coming together with Andy Peach at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend there. Just take us through it from your point of view.
Yeah, I got a bit wide in the hairpin, obviously, to start off the safety car and got on some wet, lost a bit of drive, and Andy got on the only dry line, bless him. Unfortunately, I was on the loose, and as soon as I touched the brakes for the bottom hill, it just locked the front and turned the front, full lock left, and I was a passenger then. Unfortunately, luckily he was there and stopped me going straight off, but yeah, he's right as rain about it, and yeah, it's a good crack, isn't it?
We saw the hand go up. That was just sorry about that.
Yeah. I was alongside him, but as soon as I hit the brakes, it just folded under. So yeah, had to apologise.
Nothing you could do there. You're a victim of momentum. We'll leave it like that. Tris, go around here. We see all the movement of the outfit and things underneath you. How much more work is it for you in these type of conditions? Because it looks a lot of work anyway, being a passenger in one of these, being the weight that moves around to keep the drive going on. But in these sorts of conditions, how much harder are you working?
Yeah, you obviously have to work the back more, because as soon as the places you come out of a corner, you'll just tuck in and have a rest. Now you're getting back up onto the back wheel to get it to drive, and then you're more in the wind and it's pulling on your arm. So yeah, it does make it hard in certain areas, yeah.
Now for you guys, next year, we have to look towards next year. What's the plan?
I don't know really, Tony. We've got a few things in the pipeline. I'd like to come back here. I enjoy racing in this championship. It's good, and just a shame we could, it'd be good if we could get a few more of the World Championship teams to come and support it, and then I think it'd be good. But I've got a German backer that's keen for us to do the World Championship. We'll have to see, really. Time will tell.
Be good to be back in BSB.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. First year back, and I've really loved it, yeah.
Great crowds. I really appreciate what you're doing. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Tim and Tristan Reeves. They will let them go up to the podium now. And whilst they're making their way up the stairs here, we'll take a look at the highlights with Barry.
Well, it was nothing if not eventful, this final race of the 2013 season. The winner, pretty much a foregone conclusion, because Tim Reeves has been unbeatable all season. But what happened next was absolutely amazing. The conditions were unpredictable, to say the least. There was a dry line in places, but there appeared to be a wet or slippery something on the Exeter clearways, which claimed no fewer than 4 outfits. Tony Brown catapulting into the gravel, Ashley Hall's being thrown away, the passenger up, John Clark went in as well, series organiser Roger Body followed in a bit later, more sedately, but all under control. So something happened there. Matt McLaurin and AD Hope, well, they went in backwards in the gravel, so after a brilliant first race, their debut in the Eastern Airways Championship ended in ignominy, shall I say. Safety car out then allowed everyone to close up. Tim Reeves and Andy Peach at the restart really got stuck into each other. Andy Peach with an intermediate rear tyre seemed to get the drive where Tim Reeves maybe was slip-sliding around a bit. I do not know the choice of tyre Reeves had, but running wide under brakes, you heard it in the interview, he slid a little bit wide, shoved Andy almost out, but it was a genuine racing incident, and then Tim Reeves went on to lift his 16th victory. Unbelievable. Fantastic result. Andy Peach confirmed second place in the series. Ben Holland finished third in the gravel, and there you go. Tim Reeves then, with Tristan, worthy champions. Roger Marshall, a multi-British solo champion, presenting the trophies here. Always good to see Roger Marshall, one of the technical members of MSVR, the organising body of British Superbike. Roger Lovelock on the right there in his black leathers. Always takes a lot to put a smile on Roger's face, but hopefully finishing as strongly as he did will help.
There we go then, the champagne is spraying. We are just here underneath the podium. Thank you, Mr. Whittam, for your umbrella. Thank you very much. Andy Peach there. Obviously, absolutely fine with the coming together with Tim and Tristan Reeves at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend, and you heard that Tim said that he put his hand up to apologise. What about that for a super sexy slow-mo of some champagne being sprayed? But a great championship this year for the sidecar boys. James Whittam and James Hayden will join me here at the end of the pit lane. And I know you're such a sidecar fan, you've got some real treats this year.
I love my sidecar racing, it's good. And the blokes, they're more like old club racers that I remember when I started racing, because all solo riders used to make their own bikes, work on their own bikes, and these lads all do. That's why they got grubs under the fingernails.
Yeah, and it will be barrels of bitter tonight, as you said, not the champagne, that's for
Correct.
sure. Right, let's talk about a couple of the main talking points for today. Mr. Hayden, I'll come to you about this, because you were doing commentary on the race. This is the British Supersport Championship race. Big story, Stuart Easton and the problems for the Martrain Yamaha. It was noted as being smoking. He eventually finished 11th, but a real kick in the championship hopes.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt. I don't actually think the bike was causing a problem. You know, actually, I mean, you can see a little bit of smoke there. It certainly wasn't terminal. That's about as bad. You're seeing that in ultra slow motion as well. You know, it wasn't noticeable as in losing power coming down the straights. It wasn't doing it like that. So even though there was a bit of smoke there where it's escaping past the rings, who knows what was going on. That wasn't affecting him. I think it was more to do with very tricky conditions.
Yes.
Easy to make a mistake, a lot of pressure on him, and I think that's what we saw. But the nice thing is, he's going to have chance. He's still leading it, albeit by 4 points. Overnight, they can put a new engine in the bike. He can be all primed and ready. Tomorrow's a new day.
4 points ahead of Alistair Seeley, and as Alistair said in the post-race interviews, 2011, exactly the same situation.
Exactly.
He's coming into
That's weird,
this race. Isn't that strange?
In a way, it's near
4
enough
points
to not
behind.
make any difference if they're both at the front. Yeah. But you'd still take the 4 points if you could. This is Seeley going through the pack. He kind of dropped off and then came back and set the fastest lap of the race. So he'll start from pole tomorrow. I think a lot of this will depend on conditions come the morning.
Yeah. And just amazing how this championship's gone. Seeley burst away,
Yep.
And Easton dropped off. Then Easton came for Seeley had an accident. Then it goes back to Easton and back to Seeley. It's just the twists and turns in it. Are we going to have another one before the end of the weekend?
You could sum it up completely with that race, couldn't you? It did. Easton was dropping back, Seeley dropped back, then came back and charged his way through. It's a great championship, and then we throw in riders like Richard Cooper and other riders like that.
Brilliant
and
ride
Cooper
from
was
him.
just
Yeah, good ride.
unbelievable.
Brilliant ride. I mean, he looked like he was on a different racetrack, didn't it? You know, controlled it. I know they pulled a bit at the end, but it was only because he just sort of backed it off and controlled the race out front. Looked smooth and neat. Here he is, and real tidy little ride. I enjoy watching him ride, and lovely. He's only had one podium apart from this all year.
It's
So-
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. But remember his form on the superbikes when he was on the privateer on the Cup Superbike at Mallory Park in similar conditions. Wonderful win.
There's no question of that.
No
And
question.
I mean, his result came from the conditions.
Yes.
But you've still got to ride these conditions, and it's so easy to go quick and make a mistake in these conditions we've had today.
Absolutely right. Superbike time then. Shane Byrne finished third. What do you think is going through his mind at the moment?
I mean, he was philosophical about it. At the end of the day,
A lot of guys in third are philosophical about it.
yeah. But I think, at the end of the day, he wasn't prepared. I think he knew it was going to be easy to make a mistake. And actually giving him that race, that's the way he looked at it. I think he tried his best to keep him behind. But, firstly, it's hats off to Alex, because I found that race really tense to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
was-
just couldn't make a mistake.
You couldn't make a mistake. It was a dry line. Here we can see the race. This is Alex sort of coming through early on on lap one. Shane's got a good start, and Shane looked like he was doing enough. Brooks was off. Brooks was gone, so there's no point in staying with him. But Alex, here you can see him going up ahead of Walters, who had a brilliant ride in full
Didn't he
spot.
just?
And this is the move for that second spot. And what he did manage to do at that point, for the first time all race, he lifted his game.
Yeah.
He suddenly believed. I don't think all weekend he's believed he could beat him around here. But that race was critical as well. And that's just for me, that's a slight mind shift as well. I saw some of his nerves so far this weekend. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, he's still going to do on his nerves a power good, but I still think it'll be down to conditions tomorrow. This is still all to play for in this championship.
And
I think
3 points.
Yeah, and I think but what I'm
50
saying
left.
is, there's no way Shane's going to be sat in his motorhome now going, "Oh, that's it, it's
no.
over."
No.
You know what I mean? It's still all to
No,
play
but
for.
guys-
It
but
will have
guys-
done Lawson good. That.
But guys,
Good
two
ride.
races tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time, but I just want to get this point to you. Two races tomorrow, and now, of course, we have the spectre of Josh Brooks, who came in and smashed it through, won the race in superb fashion. Brooks could be a player tomorrow. He could have a massive effect on the outcome of this title.
Yeah, but it's a championship you can't win now. That's it. The job's
True,
over. It
but he
is
can still
about
affect
Lawson,
it.
but he can still affect it. Yeah, he can. On this form, he can.
No, very much so. But I think that both riders are going to be quite content, in their own way. I think they'll go back. Both of them will reflect on it. Both of them will improve their bikes and come back tomorrow. What an ending to what a season.
James, couldn't have said that better myself. Thanks very much for everything you've done today. Same with you, Mr. Whittam. We will see the guys tomorrow, and we will be back tomorrow with plenty more action for you. We kick things off at 9:15 in the morning with another Superbike Sunday. It's the MCE British Superbikes, the final round, of course, and the FIM World Superbikes, the final round. Brands Hatch for BSB, Jerez for FIM World Superbikes tomorrow at 9:15 in the morning. MotoGP Championship round 16, Phillip Island in Australia. Qualifying highlights are next here on British Eurosport 2 HD. If you've missed anything, you can catch all the action there. It's an early start tomorrow for our live coverage of Moto 3 and Moto 2. Same channel as always, British Eurosport 2 HD, and it is live 2:45 in the morning for that. 7 o'clock in the morning for the MotoGP race. That's 7 o'clock in the morning, so if you want to get up very early, you can spend all day with us in the Superbikes as well. But that is it from here at Brands Hatch. We'll see you tomorrow with plenty more race action, not only in BSB, but World Superbikes as well. What a great day it's been. Plenty more to come as well. See you back here tomorrow then. Until then, goodbye.